Seeing his unconscious wife, Jack was instantly overwhelmed with regret. He hurriedly dropped the wooden stick in his hand and rushed forward to check on her condition. Unexpectedly, he stepped onto a trap his wife had set. The rope tightened instantly, hoisting him upside down into the air. Jack's scream startled his wife awake as Lisa slowly stood up and saw her husband hanging above her head. She immediately understood everything. She gave her husband no chance to explain and picked up the stick, ready to take revenge. Just then, Lisa suddenly heard the dense footsteps of a primitive tribe approaching from afar. She gave her husband a sinister smile, then dropped the stick and ran away. Jack panicked. He struggled desperately in midair, and at the very last second before the cannibals arrived, he swung onto a vine and hid, narrowly escaping death. Batu, who had just barely escaped danger, accidentally wandered straight into a cannibal ambush. At that moment, Jack was about to say something when he suddenly passed out. Immediately afterward, both of them were struck by tranquilizer-coated glow darts. When they woke up again, the primitive tribe had begun their sacrificial ritual. They planned to burn Lisa alive as an offering to the god of fire. Jack, on the other hand, was placed on a canoe as a sacrifice to the tribe's sea god and sent drifting out to sea. Soon, the pile of wood around Lisa was set on fire. At the same time, the canoe carrying Jack drifted to the edge of a cliff and waterfall. At the critical moment, Jack suddenly woke up from his unconsciousness. He scrambled to his feet, leapt forcefully to the side, grabbed a protruding rock on the shore, and climbed up the cliff to save his wife, who was about to be burned alive. Jack secretly slipped into the tribe. While no one was paying attention, he kicked away the wooden log surrounding his wife. Then, using all his strength, he ripped the stake his wife was bound to straight out of the ground. The sight of him in that moment left everyone present utterly stunned. Before the cannibals could react, he hoisted the stake onto his shoulder and sprinted toward the cliff. Without hesitation, he jumped straight into the sea. As he surfaced in the water, the enraged cannibals hurled their spears one after another. Seizing the perfect moment, Jack flipped the stake, dragged his wife underwater, and avoided the final attack. He then used the sharp spear tip to cut through the rope and escaped to shore with his wife. The two had no time to celebrate and quickly ran to the other side of the island. They pushed the stolen canoe into the sea and finally escaped with their lives.